Okay, good evening. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a Wednesday. It's Wednesday, March 3rd, I believe, 2021. The time is 10:01 a.m. And I am calling this department head regular meeting to order. Before we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, I just wanted to do a roll call. Selectman Goulart, are you present and participating remotely?
Brett, you're breaking up.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're talking hesitantly. You're breaking up.
I think there's some wire work going on Lincoln Avenue. I think it might be internet work, so I apologize. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Oh, well, we'll both probably disappear if that's the case, Brett.
Selectman Goulart, are you present and participating remotely today?
Yes.
And Selectman Pacheco, are you present and participating remotely?
Yes, I am.
And Selectman Zagrafos is present and participating remotely. Sorry for that formality. It is part of the open meeting law. And with that, I ask that everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United
States of America
and to the
republic
for which it
stands,
one nation,
one nation,
indivisible,
under God,
with liberty
indivisible,
and justice for all.
with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, you were breaking up again, Brett.
My apologies.
That's all right.
Selectman Pacheco, for the sake of this meeting, do you mind conducting it just in case my internet goes out? Because I think there's a problem with it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You want me to conduct it now or wait till it?
Yep, if you don't mind.
Okay, sure. So does Dr. Z or Mrs. Goulart have anything you want to start off the meeting?
Hey, yeah, well, I'm the clerk. I think I'm supposed to conduct the meeting.
My apologies. My apologies, Selectman Goulart. I forgot that. I thought Selectman Pacheco was the clerk. Yes.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Do either of my colleagues wish to make a comment or a statement? I'll start with Senator, there we go. Senator Pacheco. No, Selectman Pacheco.
No, I don't have anything to start the meeting off with. Thank you.
Dr. Z?
Just three quick things, if you can hear me. One, the open space and recreation plan was submitted to the state. We are just awaiting their comments and revisions, like suggested revisions. I did submit this to both the planning board and board of selectmen. I guess their acceptance is needed in order for DCS to officially certify the document. But regardless of that, we're still eligible for future community compact cabinet grants, as I understand in discussions with Bill Napolitano. So that's good. The other thing is Karen Brady and I, Mrs. Brady and I are working on the Green Communities final report, running the numbers. As you probably know, we did, thanks to our building commissioner and energy source, complete all 4 projects. Energy efficiency projects. The problem is that sometimes what you think they're going to cost, they actually ended up costing less than what we thought. So we're just trying to figure out, account for all the monies, and then submit that to DOER, Department of Energy Resources, and we'll be eligible for future grants on a competitive project basis, probably in the fall. Is the next round. We missed the spring round. And the last thing is tomorrow I'll be attending a webinar for the cybersecurity awareness training grant that we received. I did ask Mrs. Brady to join me as well, her schedule permitting, of course. And so we will be kicking that off shortly. So just trying to assess our cybersecurity posture. Currently, we've done a lot of improvements with our network. Getting everyone on the same network, securing that network. So we'll be interested to see what the assessment says and see what's needed in terms of possibly needing to beef that up. And that's all. Thank you.
Okay, and the only thing I have to report is we did have the MVP, HMP municipal vulnerability plan, hazard mitigation plan meeting with Bill Napolitano. This was, Bill provided a overview of the potential projects that we might have with the town of Somerset and or Swansea. And there will be a large map arriving at Town Hall soon, I hope, that will be on display either in the vestibule or in the foyer, but up against the windows looking into the vestibule, so people can come in, department heads, so we can look at it and see the color-coded dots that indicate areas of major concern. And the one that we talked about the most with a potential Dayton Somerset project is Somerset is undertaking a large study of the dam. What they refer to as the dam is the big reservoir. And there are concerns about the northwest wall, which practically abuts the town of Dayton, town of Somerset line, where Elm Street goes down into Somerset and where North Street is. So there will be more information on that. Somerset is going to move ahead with that study simply because it's urgent. Obviously, if they were to lose any part of that dam, it would be a major catastrophe for both towns. But Dayton will be working with both Somerset to look at flooding problems with the Labor and Vane Brook, which is in that area. And also Dayton will be talking to Swansea about doing something to protect the headwaters of the Coles River as a potential water supply. And that's an area up in the woods behind Arujo's farm. So that's where we were. And I want to thank everybody who was able to sit in on that briefing. And there'll be more information coming down the road. So does anyone else wish to speak? Give us an update on anything?
Yeah, I would like to speak. It's not an update, but I would be interested in knowing what the department head's feeling is on opening up Town Hall and Old Town Hall regarding, capacity. I know we can't open up full capacity as we were a year ago, but I would be interested in their position. We can't vote on it today. I don't believe it's on the agenda, but I would like to know what their position is on open up the building and possibly having some meetings in Old Town Hall.
So the pandemic reopening task force actually met on, oh boy, was that Tuesday? I'm losing my days here now. It may have been Monday. And we have recommendations that are going to be submitted to the board that Mr. Mullen was able to attend the meeting. And I believe, and Jim can correct me if I'm wrong, that he's going to submit those recommendations to the board to vote on. I know reopening Town Hall, we were thinking towards April 5th, just to help Jim out with some of the construction he's got going on. And there's some recommendations on being able to start having meetings within state guidelines with potentially 10 people in the Old Town Hall, but keeping it as a hybrid setup.
Yep.
So that there is some recommendations coming to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chief.
Was I accurate, Jim?
Thank you, Chief. Yes, you were.
Mr. Aguiar, do you have anything?
Yes, I just wanted to take a moment to thank everyone at Town Hall and Old Town Hall for their patience while the renovations are going on. We're doing our best not to interfere with the logistics. I was vocal in the pandemic meeting, as the chief alluded to, about maybe delaying the opening a week to 10 days just to help me get a little further along. We're doing well, and everybody seems to be happy that the renovations are actually coming to fruition. But I do know that it's a little bit, it interferes a little bit in the daily activities, but everybody's been very patient and understanding. So thank you.
We have something in the chat and it says it came from me, but it didn't come from me. So I don't know who typed it. It says, if you open, can we still offer computer services at Old Town Hall or minimal in-person library programming at Old Town Hall? And will Old Town Hall be available on Friday? Oh, it's from Jocelyn. I'm sorry, Mrs. Tavares.
So,
did you want to speak to that? So, Selectman Goulart, did you want Jocelyn to speak to that?
Yes. Mrs. Tavares, go ahead.
I just had the questions how comfortable the reopening committee was to offering some in-person services, and we're still getting calls. We get a call. I don't remember if Britt said it was every day or every week from one person in particular who was looking for computing services. If that would be made accessible to the public once those buildings were made open to the public in some capacity.
Are you talking about the library on Main Street being open?
No, I understand the library will not be able to
Okay,
be
so
made
you're
open.
talking town hall or some other location?
Yep, we
I meant Old
have
Town Hall, I'm sorry.
Old Town Hall where our computers are there now, and
Okay.
my children's librarian is interested in offering some limited programming.
Chief
for-
McGee, was there anything in your meeting that discussed library services, or will we have recommendations?
I think the only thing we discussed was that the one library personnel that's working at Old Town Hall and could go back and reoccupy or go back with the staff at the library
Right.
there now. I don't think we talked anything about computing services or anything like that I recall.
Selectman Goulart, do you mind if I ask
No,
Mrs.
go ahead.
Tavares the question? Mrs. Tavares, did the
Excuse me.
computer services that were happening at Old Town Hall stop? Because I know they did have services. I know then we closed everything. So wouldn't it just restart as it was before?
Well, I wanted to know if that was okay to reestablish.
I can probably shed some light if that's okay.
Go ahead.
So yes, in talks with the Board of Health, and I don't think anyone from the Health Department is on right now, if the selectmen so chose at the recommendation of the Pandemic Task Force to reopen, then yes, those services would go back to the way they were before we closed. Upstairs of Old Town Hall is being used as a temporary shredding area for public documents. So I would just ask that same as before, that if you do have someone who made an appointment, that a member from the library staff accompanies them while they're upstairs.
Yeah, no, we would.
May I
Thank you.
give? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Brett.
Sorry, I just got an email, but I think it's relevant to the larger group regarding if everyone's familiar with One Connection, the adult use medicinal cannabis facility that will go at 200 William Street. I hadn't heard from Mr. Caruso in a while, but he sent an email and he said he just wanted to keep us all in the loop. He decided to sell 80% of his business to get the project to complete. Construction should resume this month. Within he thinks it'll take about 4 to 6 months to complete the construction. He's very excited, and he just wants us to know if we need an introduction with the owner, which I think we should have.
I agree, we should.
Yep.
Yeah, so that'll be on a
She's
Board of
shaking her head.
Selectmen's agenda.
Yeah, maybe we could even like invite, I don't know, members of the planning board as well, because I know they were involved in that, like giving approval. So yeah, I think we should invite everybody at a future Board of Selectmen's meeting. If that's okay with you, Madam
Okay.
Chair.
Yes, that's fine. Mrs. Easterday, do you have anything to add?
On that matter, no, I haven't heard anything from them. Actually, it's funny, it was kind of on my radar this week, so that's,
Well, now you have a blip.
yeah, that's wonderful. I was getting a little concerned because I saw no activity going on,
Yeah.
so it's wonderful to hear that. So construction, they're hoping to begin this month, you said, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be able to we have a planning board meeting tonight, so I will advise my board and let them know that they are looking to do some type of intro meeting and see who will attend at a selectmen's meeting and advise them. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you could invite them, if you wanted to invite them to a planning board meeting too. I just figured we could all
Okay.
do it together.
Certainly, yes, thank you.
Mrs. Easterday, do you have any other planning board, or I know you're kind of helping out with zoning board, any information or updates?
I do. I have a couple. One, my chairman, who unfortunately could not make it today, and he apologizes. So would like to know, has there been any indication if FinCom meetings are going to be starting yet? I haven't heard anything.
They just
Or are we waiting until the town administrator comes?
they met, Mrs. Easterday, they met, I think, last week or the week before on a Thursday, and I think they set a schedule.
Okay.
So we can reach out to the finance committee chair and get that for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the last thing is, I just sent out an email, but I just want to make everyone aware that the Forest Hills Estates public hearing is set to open on March 17th, St. Patty's Day, 6 o'clock.
Luck of the Irish.
What's that? Yeah,
It's
lucky
the luck of
Irish.
the Irish.
Yes, so I did send out a friendly little reminder to the various departments that we need their review and department comments. Very important to get those comments in, please. This is a very big subdivision, so we need lots of comments on that. So March 17th, 2021 at 6 p.m. is when we are opening the public hearing, and I don't anticipate this going quickly. So, and then as far as ZBA, no activity, haven't received any applications, haven't received, a couple phone calls, just a couple questions, that's about it. So haven't seen much coming down. So knock on wood, smooth sailing.
Mrs. Easterday, when you do set up the Zoom meeting for that hearing,
Yes.
would you include the members of the Stormwater Committee, so whoever's available can sit in on this so that they're aware, and Mrs. Grassi can give you the email addresses for everyone on that committee. And that you may find out you've already got them on other committees.
Yes, I
because
did.
obviously the Stormwater Committee is made up of people from many others.
Okay, most definitely. So I did send it to the Board of Health, but the committee is a different, well, okay, I will take care of that.
Yes, it is different. And the other thing I need is a copy of the whatever they submitted, whether it's the plans, the whole thing. It's a lot of stuff, but the
Yeah.
Stormwater Committee does need a copy of that for its own use.
Okay.
All
I
right,
definitely will. The only thing, so like the drainage report, which is probably more of what you want as opposed to the application per se, is not in PDF format. I'll see if I can get that.
Okay.
The application itself is very large, and I've had a lot of people, especially like the abutters, get in touch with me already, asking for a copy sent to them. What I've been doing instead, because it's so large, and of course a lot of people, the abutters requesting for a copy, when I try to send it, it's too large and it bounces back. So what I've done is, when you go to the planning board's website and under our agendas, it's right on the link. You just go to the link, and under, it says meeting packet, the packet. You just click on the packet and it's right there. So that's the best way to obtain it.
Okay.
But as far as like the drainage report, and it's the only thing that's coming off the top of my head. That's the one thing.
If they have included a stormwater management plan and everything related to the stormwater bylaw and regs, if that's available, if you could give it to Mrs. Grassi for the Stormwater Committee, that way anyone that wants to look at it will have it accessible, and we won't have to take somebody else's, and we won't have to share it, in other words.
Sure, I will definitely get on that. Stormwater.
I know that this project has been around for a while, and they may not be aware that they've got to go through another committee now, but obviously any information we can get ahead of time would be good.
Okay, definitely.
I have Madam Chair, I have two things kind of related to what we just discussed. The first one was I wanted to circle back with Mr. Easterday on the ZBA budget. Obviously, I never received anything, so I just copy and pasted what FY21 was into the FY22 departmental request. Technically, probably there should be a zero budget for departments that don't submit one, but you know, it is the zoning board. It's one of the most important boards. So I just feel like they have to have some funds, obviously, especially to pay your office manager. So so I did level fund that based on last year. And the other thing was I don't know if the Board of Selectmen will have input regarding Forest Hills. Is there a specific date that the input is needed by?
Preferably at least like a week, or actually, let's say 48 hours before the public hearing.
Okay. So
That
if
way I
the,
can add it to the packet.
got you. So
It'll
if
be
the board
under the-
wanted to have input, we should probably discuss it at our next week's meeting. And maybe we can come up with something to submit to the planning board. Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Mrs. Easterday, so as the hearing process continues, which I'm sure it will for a period of time, can any board, like the Board of Selectmen, who may not have a lot of initial comments, will they be allowed to weigh in during that hearing? Because I know that when you have a hearing, the committee, the planning board discusses it with the proponents, but as a courtesy, when I've attended meetings in the past on other projects, the chairman of the planning board calls upon any town officials who are present to see if they wish to comment. So I just ask that, you know, if possible, that courtesy be extended so that if the Board of Selectmen or another board comes up with an issue that they hadn't thought of or that they have questions about, that they would be allowed to, you know, be recognized by the chair.
Absolutely. I know our planning board would most welcome that. This is a sizable project, so we've got a big project before us. I'm gonna leave it at that. So we would welcome any and all comments from anyone who, especially concerns, because it's going to be a challenge.
Okay,
So,
Dr. Z,
yes.
do you have anything else?
No, thank you. And thanks,
Okay,
Mrs.
I-
Easterday. We'll be sure to try to get those to you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I'm just gonna go through the people I see here. Let's see. Mr. Laviolette, do you have any comments or questions or anything?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody can hear me okay.
Yeah,
Just wanted to extend my thanks and appreciation to Jim Aguirre, Mike Berube, and I believe it was Eric Moniz for all of their extreme and unbelievable efforts here at Town Hall and the renovation process as we're now in our new digs, and I'm kind of digging it. Sorry, pardon the pun. Thank you very much, members of the Board of Selectmen, for your support in this effort. The other thing I wanted to bring to the board's attention, we were awaiting additional reimbursement for the window project over at Prime Time. We had about another $3,200 that we were expecting to come in to pay for that project. It came in last month at the end of February, and we should be crediting the account and wiping out that deficit in that grant account, and we are whole now. And unless anybody has any questions, unfortunately, I'm going to be participating. So these next 2 weeks, the Mass Municipal Auditors and Accountants Association is holding its annual accounting education conference. Typically, we go up to UMass Amherst during spring break, but we're doing it virtually now. And they're breaking up the sessions over a 2-week span. And I've got a session starting in about 4 minutes, and some interesting and timely topics just to bring to everybody's attention, kind of piggybacking on you, Dr. Z. There's going to be a cybersecurity presentation that's coming up, and we also have one on fraud and fraud prevention. Matter of fact, I think the fraud one is the one that I'm going to attend here in about 4 minutes. And I'll be happy to share whatever, if I learn anything, if I can stay awake long enough to pay attention, I'll try and share it during the next department head meeting. So thank you all, and I'm here all day. So if you have any questions, please send me an email. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Chief McGee, do you have anything that you have related to fire department or anything else?
I don't think so at this time, no.
Okay, Mr. Aguirre,
Selectman Goulart?
yes.
Madam Chair, do you mind if I just take a second to really thank Chief McGee and the Board of Health for really taking the reins on the exploring the different options that we have before us for the vaccine administration. So I really just want to thank you for going above and beyond, Chief.
Here, here.
No problem. No problem.
Thanks, Chief, and everybody on your committee. Mr. Aguirre, do you have anything?
Nope, not at this time. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ferry.
Good morning. So I met with the contractor for the Brick Street culvert this morning. Obviously, they have to build a culvert, order it, and all the other things, but the project may start before the next department head meeting. Just letting you know that project's active, and may have to communicate with the key departments for that road closure and temporary closures between now and next month. Hopefully it gets going by early April, the latest. The other thing, department-wise, we're in season change, the mud season, whatnot, in between different tasks that we're doing. So we're kind of spread out thin as usual. And I do have a question, I believe it's for Brett. As far as the articles, because I had some loose ends on my budget meeting with you, the articles for the annual, was there a deadline to submit them? I haven't heard that yet.
I don't think we've either opened or, and correct me if I'm wrong, Madam Chair, we haven't opened or closed articles. So what we've been doing is, I know I submitted like a placeholder it was like a funding article for the vaccine, actually, ironically enough. So just if you could submit a placeholder, Tom, before, because we just haven't opened it, it's a little too early. But you can get it in there, and then we know that we're waiting for you to submit an article.
Okay. Thank you. That's
Yeah,
it.
you're welcome. We have a folder.
That's it at this time.
Mr. Ferry,
Yes.
so when they finish the culvert, when you finish that work on Brigg Street, are you going to have a new back picture that shows a beautiful tree-lined street with, without flood?
Possibly.
Okay. I just got a message right across my screen that says your internet connection is unstable. So I think,
Uh-oh. Oh, it's
like I
spreading.
say, Brett, they're out to get
Spreading
us.
down the road.
Yep. Mrs. Ferry, do you have anything?
Not at this time.
Mrs. Hathaway?
I think that's a no.
Mrs. Hathaway, if you do, just unmute yourself and give us the signal. Mrs. Souza?
I got it. You hear me?
Oh,
I can
okay,
hear you.
Mary?
Yes. I didn't know if you had any thoughts about unused vacation time since we're coming, like we did last year. People are, it's coming by the end of the year and finance committees meetings are starting. I didn't know if you had any thoughts about that. Because people haven't been taking vacation.
Didn't we briefly discuss this earlier this year at a Board of Selectmen meeting? And we had a list at that time of if we had to pay out at that time exactly how much money it was.
Yes, we did. Yeah. So we did last year.
We decided, I think, Selectman Goulart, that we were gonna wait. So we took it under advisement, and it was one of those things we wanted to wait until the town administrator had time to on board and really digest that information and come up with something as a team. I think that's what we decided.
Okay, that works.
So Mary, I guess, yeah, so as I said, and as Dr. Z said, so the board is kind of keeping an eye on it, and depending upon, and when Mr. Mullen gets here, we'll get an updated list, and hopefully people will have used some vacation in the meantime, so we can determine how much money would be involved and what options we'll offer. But I think we all learned from last year, and we are staying on top of this, just as a financial management issue. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
Mrs. Souza, are you there? Do you have anything?
No, I'm fine. Everything's fine. It's just we want to open up. I keep getting calls from people. They want to know when we're going to open up, and then we get tons of calls wanting to know where they can get the vaccine. But
Okay,
other than
oh,
that,
I have one question. I know somebody who's going to be having a knee replacement surgery. You're still loaning equipment, right?
we don't have any of that, no. But we are loaning them out. Yes, we did
That-
yesterday.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
question is, you're still loaning out walkers and
Yes,
canes
we are.
things? Okay,
Yes, we are.
okay,
Yes, we are.
all right, thank you. Mr. Gale?
Selectman
Need anything?
Goulart, can I
Whoops.
comment on something, the strawberry vine real quick?
Yeah, Mr. Gale, just a moment.
Absolutely.
Dr. Z,
Thank you, Madam
go ahead.
Chair. I did just want to thank Mrs. Souza and the Council on Aging. The Strawberry Vine, I know we all work together, Chief McGee, myself, the Board of Health, in comprising some information regarding the coronavirus and the vaccine and 211. And I just wanted to thank Mrs. Souza and the Council on Aging for including that important information in their Strawberry Vine. It's a whole page. I believe it's maybe the 4th or 5th page. A whole layout on helpful information. My mother was able, as she is of age, to use the 211 system to get her vaccine set up for her and my father. So it is really helpful information, and I just wanted to thank everyone for making it prominent in the Strawberry Vine, which is one of the most important tools that we have as a town, as a municipality, to get the word out to our senior citizens. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Souza, I'll just add, I was looking at it this morning when I was having breakfast. I really enjoy all the info, but I really like those articles that the town historian, Mrs. Santos, has been writing. The one that's in there now is about 3 American Revolutionary War soldiers from Dighton who went off and
Crazy.
managed to survive. When you read the story, it's like you wonder how they survived, but they actually survived. So those are really great. I hope she continues to put those in.
We want to thank Myrna too for bringing the information to us, because we're very happy to publish it. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Gale?
Thank you very much. I would let everyone know that I'm probably by tomorrow, excuse me, going to be posting information on the town's website and the Facebook page, as we've discussed a few times before, with regard to how the Commission on Disability can coordinate helping residents who need to navigate the 211 system or the computer system and set up transportation for getting vaccinations. So first of all, Mrs. Souza, if you have a list of residents that you've kept, or anyone else does, including the Board of Health, who have called you to ask about how they can arrange to get vaccinations or transportation, or need help setting up through the 211 or the computer system or transportation, as I just said, feel free to send them the way of the COD via our email or by calling the COD number directly, because starting tomorrow when we post this, I'm going to be checking that several times a day. I have actually had a few people who have reached out who are not members of the COD and offered their services as volunteers to help do the scheduling as well, online and through the 211 system. I've had another person reach out who's going to help to set up the transportation, which will be available to any senior or any person who has a disability, or anyone at all who needs it, who is either on Mass Health, for example, or on a SCO system, who's a senior care option person. All of these things we can set up. Will it be perfect? No, but can we provide resources to many of the town residents who otherwise can't set it up on their own or don't know how to? Yes, we can. We've also had a couple of individuals themselves who have offered transportation, and that's still in the works to see if it can be done or not. But with regard to all of this, we should have this ready to roll out. I'm hoping by the time Town Hall closes tomorrow, so that I can make sure it gets up on the website, the Facebook page, et cetera, et cetera.
Mr. Gale?
Yes.
So can I just make one suggestion? This is fabulous. I really appreciate the effort you and everyone have put into this, and just simply you having the idea and the initiative. Would you mind circling back with Alice and get whatever information you're going to put on the website and the social media page? You might want to also provide to Mrs. Souza so that she can include it in the April strawberry vine, which I believe, if I'm correct, Mrs. Souza, you need that information probably by mid-month for April. So you might want to give her that information, Mr. Gale, so that she can include it in the strawberry vine, which will go to people's, mailboxes.
I will absolutely do that. Thank you. And I would say that after tomorrow, for anyone on this call who is a department head or has anything to do with the town at all in any way, shape, or form, if you get calls of people inquiring, how can I get help to arrange any of these services, please send them again to the COD email address. I see that it comes into my phone as well, even if I'm not home. And the same thing for the telephone. So if they call the number again, and we'll have that all posted tomorrow, we can help set it up. It may take a day or two to get to people, but we'll always at least get back to them and let them know they're on our radar. And if there are lists out there that any departments have of residents who have asked to be called back or to be even simply informed of what's available, please share those lists with me so that we can reach those people. We have people who can make the call and call them and say, we have you on the list, let's get some information and let's get you scheduled. That's the biggest part of what we're doing right now. There are several other things we've been working on. I want to thank everyone, especially Dr. Z, for helping for the grant that was just submitted to improve some of the intersections in the town with ramps and so forth, and crosswalks for people with disability and sidewalks. There are some other projects we're probably just about ready to submit. One of them is for that ramp at Old Town Hall for the stage that hopefully will go out in the next week or so. We have started our meetings, and everyone will hear about this shortly. We've had our first meeting, I'm calling it a joint task force of various committees to look at parks in town, accessible park or parks in town. And we had our first public meeting for that about a week and a half ago. We will be having another one in about 2 weeks. On that one, we will actually be having folks from out of town who are not committee members who specialize in accessible build parks, who will be able to talk for 15 or 20 minutes each on what's involved in building an accessible park, all the things you have to think about, all the parameters, et cetera. And we will be inviting, I'm hoping that we have a large swath of the public once we put that out there, because there's certainly a huge interest in an accessible park in the town, whether it's at North Dayton or another location yet to be determined. But we've gotten a lot of feedback, and I hope a lot of people will participate in that. So that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Gale. Chief McDonald?
Yes, good morning, everybody. I don't know if you guys have got that. I believe Tommy sent it out. They're going to be surfacing the Route 44 project. It looks like they're going to start March 15th. I think he had sent it to everybody, and that's supposed to start at 44. So I don't know if you guys can announce that to let people know that that's what's going to be happening.
Are they doing the whole section Taunton to the Rehoboth line?
I'm not sure. Tommy would know better than I would, but he had sent something out, and it looks like estimated time, it's going to be like 18 months it's going to take. I don't know if that's that long, but that's what it says in the paper that Tommy sent out.
Yes, the project's going to be 18 months long. I believe those contractors for that specific stretch of 44 is from the Rehoboth line to, I believe, Warner Boulevard.
Wow.
Leanne has the notice for your board to share for the selectmen's meeting next Wednesday also. And I suggested it go on the town website.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, Tom, because I know you said that you were going to let them know, send it up there. Okay, thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else, Chief?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much, Selectman Goulart.
Mr. Ferry, so this isn't just resurfacing, this is reconstruction of 44?
Yes, I believe they got to upgrade the drainage, guardrail systems, and
They're gonna have
change the grade.
sidewalks?
I don't believe so.
Or maybe, well, maybe in the area near the plaza and that, when you
I-
get near Warner Boulevard. I don't know.
Next Wednesday's our joint transportation board meeting. I can find out more details then.
That's gotta be millions of dollars.
At least $50. Yep.
We can all throw into the pot, Tom. Okay, I noticed that after we had our MVP meeting, when it was open to the public, and there from Mass DOT, and I mentioned that problem with erosion on the hill after you cross into Dayton near Segi. I noticed that they have taken some steps there. It looks like they put some pavement down to try to divert some of that erosion. So as a temporary measure, I'm sure. But I was glad to see that there's not as much dirt in the road when we get the severe and the heavy rains. Mr. Ferry, I forgot to ask you, how did we fare during that windstorm we had yesterday relative? I don't think there was a power outage anywhere, was there?
I'm not aware of any power outage. There's quite a few trees that came down, but none of the town trees. They're mostly in yards. Some of them made their, the tops made it way out to the road. But yeah, we fared pretty good on that.
Okay.
We
very
did,
good.
if I may, real quick, we
Yes.
did have a tree come down in Mount Hope Village, directly on top of a house. No one was injured. Chief McDonald brought it to my attention. I thank him for that. And we got them taken care of. TMLP was exemplary, and everybody worked harmoniously. So thanks to everyone. We did pretty well, as Tom said.
Were they able to stay in their house?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Good.
good. Does anybody else have anything, any comments, questions? One thing I will mention is at the Board of Selectmen's meeting, when we were talking about COVID-19 a few minutes ago, the Selectmen's meeting last week, we were asked by Mr. Pilling to send a letter I guess you'd call it in support of Taunton being designated a regional, let's say collaborative immunization place with a number of, like, I think he mentioned there were 8 communities. There was an article in the paper about that this week. Mayor O'Connell has jumped on the bandwagon. Our letter went to Senator Pacheco and Representative Haddad. And with the announcement that came out, and maybe this is a Chief McGee question, with the governor's announcement and about the importance of getting school staff immunized, Chief McGee, have you heard anything about any kind of a clinic that would focus on school, not only teachers, but support staff? Because if you don't have support staff, you still can't run schools. Anything
No.
on that?
No, they would be in line with everybody else's, from what I understand. And I know that firsthand because my wife's a school teacher. So there's nothing special for the teachers. They haven't been considered to be anything different. And as far as I know, they haven't even been moved up in the phase yet. So
I know there was something on the news this morning, one of the Boston stations, that the MTA, Mass Teachers Association, was pressuring the governor to do something along those lines. And as I said, it's not only teachers, it's everybody in that building that in effect contributes to operating the school. I was approached by Mrs. Sands at the Aggie School asking what was happening. And at the time I was able to tell her what the Board of Selectmen had voted to do relative to trying to get a regional site located in Taunton in support of that. So maybe with the latest news that was on about doing something about school teachers, maybe that will fortify doing something in Taunton so that more vaccine will be available to key people, especially since children are back in school, are supposed to be entering shortly. So
yeah, they are working on an effort to make a regional vaccination for Bristol County. It will open up hopefully 4 different locations throughout the county on different days. But that's still all being worked out, and it's in the infancy stages right now.
So is Taunton a potential site of the 4?
Taunton
Do you know?
Taunton is, yep. BCC, and La Salette, and there's one other one, and I just drew a blank on where it is, but there's one other one.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything, comments, questions, anything at all?
Yes, Mrs. Goulart, regarding
Go ahead.
teachers and staff, it's my understanding that CVS is giving teachers and staff vaccinations because they get their vaccines from the federal. I know all vaccines come from the federal government, but they get it directly. So they're, because of what President Biden issued yesterday, that teachers and staff should be able to get the vaccines. It's my understanding that CVS is giving vaccines. And I know someone who's been told that to call tomorrow morning or to go on VaxFinder and check out what is available for CVS. I know that CVS in Seekonk, as well as the CVS in Pleasant Street and Fall River, is giving vaccines to seniors. So there is, it's not like Gillette. You can't go to Gillette if you're a teacher or a staff, unfortunately. But it's my understanding that teachers and staff can contact the CVS or go on VaxFinder and get the ability to have a shot. What shot it is, I don't know what it is, but that's my understanding. I saw that on social media today. Also, my daughter is a teacher and she sent me some information on that. So it is available.
Hopefully with the new Johnson & Johnson vaccine, if they can get it deployed, that will be a big plus too, because it's only one shot.
Yep.
So does anybody else have anything, any comments, questions, information? Mrs. Brady, do you have anything?
I don't, thank you.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Ferry. Sorry,
Yeah,
with
it's,
the penguin parade.
no, that's, you're encouraging vacations, so I think I'll go to China to see these guys.
Penguins, right?
No, that's
Oh,
the,
no. Oh, all right. I know what it is now. Without my glasses, they look like penguins. I'm sorry.
so it should be safe to travel now to China and back. No problem. Everything's quiet down. No, the question I have is directed to Kerry and maybe to the Board of Selectmen. So we talked about Forest Hills, and I, reading through it, when it's trying to phase it out so the impact on the town is as minimal as possible. But how is the schools involved in this planning process? Are they in tune with what's going to happen so they're prepared?
So the way our subdivision rules and regs are required to notify the various departments, our school is not listed, but I mean, I can.
This is one of the gaps that we run into from time to time.
Correct. Yeah.
I think you need to add them, Kerry.
Yeah.
This is not a 40B, right?
No, it's not a 40.
So that means, it means the impact on local schools,
Correct.
they will actually have a say in this. As you know, you can't use it against a 40B, but considering we have Forest Hills with well over 100 homes, and then we do have the impact of Strawberry Fields, which is a 40B.
Right.
We're talking well over 200 homes or units or whatever in the next so many years.
So many years. So what I'll do is I will send them a friendly notice just to bring to their attention and welcome the opportunity if they want to put in any input. I think that's the proper way to do that.
Yeah, I think if you send it to Dr. Azar and also Mr. O'Connor, who is still chairman of the DR School Committee and is a Dayton resident, he can get it out to his committee, but I would hope somebody from that school committee, or maybe they can have a rotating list of people that would sit in on these meetings so that they can report back to their school committee and be prepared to make comments or information that's going to help the town.
Right. Yeah. I was trying to figure out how to do that. Yeah, it's.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I'll just do a friendly little notification.
Okay, Mr.
Selectman Goulart?
Yes, Mr. Aguirre.
Yeah, I think it's noteworthy now that Tom has opened Pandora's box that I was privy to discussions with the developers and town officials where they are also going to seek a waiver from the 8 permit restriction annually because they want to build out this project at a much, much faster pace. Obviously, I spoke in opposition to that. It seemed that there was an appetite on the town side to work with them to come up with some type of number that was tangible. But the developers want to get in and out with this project as quick as possible. The reason I'm saying this is obviously if you condense 100 lots into a very short period of time, it has a bigger impact on the infrastructure. So I just want everybody to be aware that developers are going to seek to get more permits than the 8 restricted as of right now.
And is it true that they have access to sewer and water services from the city of Taunton without going through the Dayton sewer commissions and the North Dayton Fire District?
It's my understanding that's accurate, correct.
So I'm sorry, Jim, I'm a little confused because that was one of the discussions that we had before they filed, was that they agreed to spread the development wider to 7 different phases to help with the impact. So now they're telling you differently? Is that right?
I'm not, in that discussion that we had initially, I think you remember they wanted to do this in 4 years, which would give us 25 permits per year. And I was vocal that I did not want to do that. So they said that they would work with us. I have not seen, I am privy to the permits. I've seen those, the plans that you submitted. I'm not privy to the phasing, and obviously the permit hasn't been issued yet. So I want to make sure that the planning board and the town keeps that in mind. It's my understanding, talking with some of the developers in the last few days, that they're still going to try to, even though they're doing 7 phases, they may want to do more than 1 phase in a year. So we want to make sure that we are conscious of that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Clarification, thank you.
So from an infrastructure standpoint, what would have provided some control for the town of Dayton, water and sewer, looks like they found a way to go around it, which is, my opinion, unfortunate as far as this thing happening. But we'll just have to work through it and do what we can to if it does end up getting permitted, control how rapidly there is a build out. You know, our schools have a certain capacity. We've done our best to stay up with capacity, but you know, this is not a good situation. So does anybody else have any comments or questions or anything else?
Nope.
Not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a
So
motion.
moved.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Roll call.
Roll call.
Mr.
Aye.
Pacheco.
Oh, sorry.
Aye.
Mr. Pacheco.
Aye.
Dr. Z.
Aye.
Nancy Goulart. Aye. Meeting's adjourned, folks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Good night. Good day.
I did the same thing.
Take care, everybody.